I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Finally, The Rock has come back. I hate this idea that you're the best.
And if you're not down with that, we got too much for ya!
I'm the best in the world.
I fight at WrestleMania for the very, very small percentage of people that walk this planet and say I am proud to be, I'm sorry, a professional wrestler.
Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
It's Podcast of the Immortals with your hosts, Matt Bush and Jimmy Bellamy.
All right, welcome to episode 27 of Podcasting Immortals. I'm Matt Bush.
I'm not Miley Cyrus. I'm Jimmy Bellamy.
No, we were just having a little discussion about Miley.
We weren't.
Yes, we were. Okay, we can admit it. We're grown men.
No.
We're grown-ass men.
That's why we shouldn't be admitting it.
Why? She's 20 or 21 now. It's not it's not perverted or wrong.
You were one of those dudes that had like the countdown to when the Olsen twins turned 18, didn't you?
No, because the Olsen twins are like the same age as me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you could... I had a countdown to your 18th birthday.
My 18th
I was
birthday.
super pumped when you turned.
That was a good
I was
time,
like, now I can buy lottery tickets.
Lots of people were very excited. But we were having a discussion of her new video. It's kind of crazy.
I haven't seen it, by the way.
Oh, okay, yeah. But
I want to.
You should after this or during. But, wow. No more Hannah Montana, that's for sure.
See, now... Did you grow like you're too old for the Hannah Montana thing? I never saw it.
I've seen like 2 episodes just to see what the hell was the big deal, but it's definitely in the vein of like a family show, you know. Like I think it had a laugh track.
I mean, it was on Disney.
Yeah,
so.
It was Disney. It was sitcom-y. It was
I've seen a few episodes.
They would learn a life lesson at the end.
I've seen a few Wizards of Waverly Place episodes, so I know what's going on with the Disney vibe.
You're more of the
Selena Gomez.
Gomez.
No, I wasn't watching it by choice. It was on. Long story.
Right. Okay. Well, we only have an hour, and this is a WWE podcast, so we should probably move on. Before we move on, we have some WWE news. We actually have an announcement, and we teased this last week. It's basically official. We're still working out the final details.
Here's how sweet Matt is, and here's how much we love you. Is that we don't want to wait for it to be official because we want you guys to be on the inside. Yeah. We don't want you to be like, at an arm's length. No, we want you to know exactly what we know.
Get all snuggly with us.
Yeah. There's room on the couch next to Matt. I'm sitting in a chair across from him, so you guys can you guys can come
You can spread out, lay your head on my lap, and
it's a nice lap.
So our announcement.
Yes.
We are going to be, I don't even know what the correct term is.
We were approached to have our show hosted on a wrestling site.
Yes, called WrestleNews.com, news with a Z.
Because
they're on the cutting edge, like
the
us.
coolest site spelled with a Z.
That's right.
Like the Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys.
The Dudley Boys.
Jay-Z.
ZZ Top.
Yeah. Xylophone. I think that's next, though.
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler, yep. So we're ironing out the final details, and hopefully within the next month or so, hopefully sooner, you will find our podcast on there on WrestleNews.com.
And WrestleNews.com, they have a devoted audience for pro wrestling and for mixed martial arts, and we will be their official wrestling podcast. Yeah. And it's big for us. We're going to have more visibility. Everybody who's been with us from the beginning, we love it.
Yeah.
This will give us...
We would have never gotten there without you guys, because our numbers and our audience so far was really impressive to them, and it's the groundswell of support that we've gotten was really influential in us moving on to the next step, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, nothing is going to change from a listener standpoint. You're still going to be able to find us in every avenue that you find us now.
Yep, we'll still be on iTunes, and that's the number one hang-up right now, because they're trying to figure out how to host us without losing our ranking on iTunes, because it's so high. And also on Podbean. Did you see we're like number 2 or 3 on Podbean for
that's pretty awesome.
WWE? Yep,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So they're trying to work it out, because they know how hard it is to do what we've done and kind of gain support from the bottom on up. But yeah, once we figure that all out, we're gonna have a new home, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's only going to get better because this will open us to a larger number of listeners, potential listeners. So it's only going to get better and better. And with it, with this, and I also have an announcement related to this kind of. I haven't even told Matt because I just found out a few minutes before he arrived here. This will allow us a chance to have guests within the wrestling industry. And I recently spoke to one of my friends tonight. That's how recent it was. And he has a couple of connections to people in the pro wrestling business. And he said, let me know when you would like to have these people on as potential guests, and he will put us in touch. Wow. So we will be having guests, and that's really cool. Yeah, so we'll get to do interviews.
That's really awesome
with people in the business.
Well, very cool. Yeah, and they were saying that they could. The people at WrestleNews.com have some connections as well, and whether we interview a wrestler or a fellow writer at Wrestle News, it'll just open more options for us. I know people love our back and forth, but if we can add a third element, that's always worked with our friends. So of course it would work with wrestlers, I suppose, as well.
And I love the back and forth.
Oh yeah,
it's good stuff.
That's what I look forward to every week, and I think our listeners do too.
Samesies.
But yeah, thank you guys. We couldn't have done it without you. That's our big announcement. Hopefully you weren't on pins and needles the whole week.
Right now, people are like collectively going, "That's it."
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get on to WWE news. First off, I don't know if you heard this. This just happened in the last couple hours. Randy Orton was at a house show. Did you hear this?
I was trying to get the video to pop up, but my stupid phone, it's an iPhone, it's really nice. But I'm assuming it was because it just broke.
It just broke.
And I think that there were too many people trying to access the video. And,
I did see the video.
And this is a rant I have in general. Like, is it me? Every device I use, whether it's my phone, whether it's my computer at work, my computer at home, no matter where I am, video, it's slow, it buffers, then you get inundated with these ads. I want video to just figure its shit out. It's just... Video's having a bad year to me in 2013. Internet video.
My videos seem to work fine. I don't know. But anyways, so Randy Orton is at a house show. He wins his match, and he's celebrating in the corner.
He's telling people he hears voices in his head.
And
they come to him. Really they understand.
Yep.
They talk to him.
They talk to him, basically, yeah. And he's standing in the corner on the maybe second turnbuckle. And a guy enters the ring, walks up to him, and hits him in the nuts. And security's on him immediately, and Randy Orton's upset. Randy Orton does have quite the temper, and apparently he's being charged with assault.
Randy Orton is?
No. The gentleman...
Did Randy get his licks in on this guy?
Not from what I saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was
really bad.
Okay, it was. What you're saying is it was not up to your Dolph Ziggler Money in the Bank cash-in quality video.
No, it was not.
Okay, all right.
The person held it. Held it long, or the this way, and then he was like on his.
By the way,
part, okay,
that's the other thing. Vertical videos, no.
Vertical videos, just say no.
Stop it.
Vertical videos.
Videos, no.
He's standing vertical video, and then he's like filming his friends for like the first minute of it.
What an
You can barely see the ring. And then he
was this in Texas? Where was this shit?
I don't know where it was, but he flipped the phone so that now it's sideways. But if you've done that, so it's backwards. So when I flip it, everything was wrong with the video.
Hey, guy shooting video at house show, act like you've been there before, you idiot.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: is he's not a dumbass completely because he uploaded it clearly.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I was that guy, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be like, I'm not uploading this. What did I do? I tilted it.
It was bad.
Get out of here.
But anyways, but when the main thing happened, I was watching it like this with my head kind of to the side just so I could watch what was actually happening. But yeah, Randy Orton hitting the balls. And where has Randy Orton been on TV lately?
Did he have? Yeah, he fought on Raw.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure. Holy cow.
I don't think he did. I don't think he's been on Raw the last 2 weeks.
Okay, well,
No.
Are you... Okay.
He might have been on SmackDown, but
he is. Spoiler alert. We won't spoil you totally, but Raw and SmackDown for this week were taped last week. So before I watched Raw this week, I read the spoilers over the weekend, and I read this coming SmackDown's spoilers as well. Randy Orton does fight on SmackDown. He fights in I guess we could say the match. Do you want to?
Sure, yeah.
Randy Orton fights in a triple threat match for the #1 contendership to Alberto Del Rio's World Heavyweight title.
Interesting.
Along with RVD and Christian. So he's in a triple threat match. He said that he's not satisfied with just the Money in the Bank for the WWE title, and he hopes to become champion.
A unified champion.
Yeah, with both titles.
Wow. So, yeah, that's our first news of the day. My next news, I don't know if you heard about this. China. The enigmatic former not a Divas champion, women's champion and Intercontinental champion, may be a WWE Hall of Famer next year when DX is inducted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is DX being inducted for sure?
That's kind of the word on the street. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Who is involving her?
Well, I just read a few snippets of what's going on, but they're preliminary talks to bring her back into the fold because they really want to induct DX, and she was such an influential part of DX.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, trying to make amends there.
Well, I hope they include her because to me, my favorite DX is her, the Outlaws, X-Pac, and Triple H. I kind of got in post Shawn Michaels. I really wasn't big into DX when it was just him and Triple H. Rick Rude was a part of it when I got into it, but he jumped ship to WCW and then he died. And
just ruined everything.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, I'm going to take off for a little bit and then I'm going to die.
Yeah, I'm just going to ruin all our plans.
I'm just going to have a heart attack before I'm 50. Like, yeah, that's cool, Rick.
All right.
You can do that.
But yeah, I think that's really interesting. You know, I never thought they would ever even talk again.
Oh, come on, dude.
What China had done.
Ever? I mean, it's WWE. She had a huge impact. And, I mean, come on. She does porn now. WWE is really not that far removed from porn.
Oh, especially they're TVPG. Come on.
Yes, but I mean, we're talking about the era that she was a part of it.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that. They'd almost be hypocritical to not have her in. I can understand not having Benoit be a Hall of Famer because that's never going to happen. But to have China excluded for being a porn star is, I think, bunk.
Well, she said a lot of things about Vince as well, and excuse me. But yeah,
you are excused.
I just didn't think it would be this quickly. You know. Maybe the Triple H is having a calming influence on Vince because the Ultimate Warrior is also in talks of possibly even having a match at WrestleMania against Vince McMahon.
That would kick ass. And for anybody who doesn't know, I'm sure a lot of you do, the Ultimate Warrior is a selectable character in the upcoming WWE 2K14 video game. He has a great ad. We talked about it last week.
We did.
He has a great ad for it. And after they put out that DVD, I want to say in like 2005?
The fall of the Warrior.
Yeah. I think it was 05, 06 where they just, I mean, it was just
buried him.
It was like just
an hour and a half.
Rip session.
Yeah.
To the point where at first when I saw it, I was excited to watch it because I hadn't seen anything Warrior related for a while.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, I was embarrassed for WWE. I thought, why are they stooping to a level where they would just make fun of someone? It was really done in poor taste. But I can see them kissing and making up, and that would be awesome for so many people. The only thing is, to me, that dude's just a loose cannon. Although the fact that they were able to shoot a commercial is a good sign.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine that was maybe even difficult wrangling him in for that. So if they can get him to a show, whether it's a pay-per-view or a Raw or a few Raws and WrestleMania, and he's not holding them hostage for more money or being an asshole, I'm all for it because I love
Could you imagine the
Warrior.
pop that the crowd would have?
Oh my god!
If it went,
it would be crazy. It would be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd be excited for it. I was more of a Hogan guy, but it'd be awesome to see the Warrior back in it. Especially, I think that could work, a Vince McMahon versus Ultimate Warrior match.
Well, I mean, they have all the ammo they need.
Yeah.
I mean, with that DVD, they can dream up anything about how. I mean, he's not in the Hall of Fame. They haven't recognized him. I mean, I would love it.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
And I've seen interviews and stuff where Warrior said he wouldn't. He wasn't even sure if he would accept a invitation to the Hall of Fame because of that DVD you were talking about, and the fact that he hasn't gotten his own box set, his own retrospective that so many other wrestlers have, and he kind of takes that to heart. But another calming influence that Vince has had, and this is new news, this is the news about the Shield. There's some backstage heat on the Shield.
Really?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm hearing this for the first time, and I'm very excited.
Yes. Roman Reigns apparently got into a shouting match with Randy Orton over a botched spot, and I believe it was at a house show. There were a couple other incidents with Rollins and the Big Show, apparently. And Vince wanted to punish the Shield by having them lose a few matches, pushing them down the card, and Triple H stepped in and said no. And basically kept the Shield where they were because it makes sense for the show. So I don't know if Triple H is kind of bringing in this business first mentality that Vince might have forgotten about or neglected, but Triple H, I think, is definitely having a positive impact on the product that we're seeing.
I'm happy with what he's been doing. His on-camera presence is good, and it gives me hope for the post-Vince WWE, which realistically isn't going to happen until he's dead or incapacitated if he has a stroke or something like that.
Yeah,
as long as he's around, it's not going to be completely crap-free, let's say.
Well, his doofus son-in-law.
Yeah. Triple H has made... I mean, you look at... He got... At least from an outsider's perspective, he got Bruno Sammartino in. I don't know. It sounds like, based on everything I've read and heard, he was the one who really kind of was the catalyst for that. I mean, this is a guy in Bruno Sammartino who said he would never affiliate himself with WWE again.
So. Well, he didn't really like Vince. I think that was it. But yeah, Triple H has shown over and over again that he does what's right for business, and he always has, Yeah. He's always been that guy. So it's interesting to see the Shield still kind of keeping their spot. They did kind of lose a little bit of limelight, but it's kind of interesting news.
I think with the way, regardless of what happened here with these incidents, the Shield are going to have to split at some point. If it's one breaking away from the group or all of them going their separate ways, that's going to happen at some point, but it would be nice to get at least another year out of them. I want to see a good run from them, but you find yourself trying to really find matches for them. Yeah. And I don't mean wrestling matches. I mean fits, finding a fit for them. And this Usos Mark Henry thing, it just doesn't feel right with Henry being this monster heel not that long ago.
Yeah, like a week ago.
Yeah, and just trying to manufacture some kind of reason to have the Shield be in a 3-on-3 match. It's not working for me. So I'd like to see Reigns and Rollins fight a lot more separate matches from Ambrose, and then naturally have them break from that. And I mean, they can still be a team.
Super kick them through a glass, window or something.
Yeah,
or,
why not?
Yeah,
it's never been done.
Sure. Our next news, we should have
we should have a show, an episode just devoted to news.
Just news?
Yeah.
I was thinking like a sound effect or something, like news.
Get on that, dude.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
We can do that.
All right, I guess. Maybe we don't need it. But new WWE pay-per-view announced, Battleground, for this October. It's apparently replacing Hell in a Cell, I'm guessing?
Yep, Hell in a Cell is the usual October pay-per-view. and Battleground is replacing it. I haven't heard many details about what that will entail, but it would be really nice if it meant that they had some kind of team or faction-based competition.
Yeah.
That'd be, I don't know, for whatever reason when I hear Battleground,
like
that's what I think
Series,
of.
or?
Well, Survivor Series is the next month, so it would, I guess, set the table for a good Survivor Series.
Maybe it's just one of those names like No Way Out or, Vengeance that doesn't really mean anything.
Or maybe they'll have some kind of military tribute for it. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Battleground. I thought it might be War Games like WCW used to have. And you kind of scoffed at that idea.
Yeah, I mean, to me, War Games is just, I don't know. I'm just so anti-WCW that, to me, that doesn't work. But who knows? Maybe they will.
I don't know.
Maybe they will.
But stay tuned for that. So that's all of our news. Before we get into... I keep saying going, I need to stop that. Okay, so before we get into Raw... I wanted to talk about the premiere of Total Divas. Now, you haven't seen this.
I have not.
But I have a few...
I'm happy to hear this because I have it scheduled to record. That's not a fart. That's my chair. Seriously.
Not Mo either.
If it was a fart, I'd claim it. I would. But I have it set up to record tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And then I have it set for the rest of the series. It's probably not one I'm going to stick around and see unless you blow me away here with this recap.
It was okay.
Okay.
It was interesting to see...
Come on, Matt. Stop with that.
It was interesting to see these girls in this situation. It seemed kind of contrived.
Shower situation? Okay.
I wish. But you got to see Daniel Bryan as Bryan Danielson.
Oh, really? They actually...
Yeah, they broke kayfabe, You also got to see John Cena. You got to see the Usos. Or one of the Usos, whoever... He's engaged to...
Jay has the tattoo on his chest.
Yeah, I learned
Jay?
that. I learned that on Raw this week.
And I learned it early because I wanted to figure out, well, which one's the one with my name? So I wanted to be like, which one's Jimmy? And I was like, of course he wouldn't get a chest tattoo because he's Jimmy.
He's Jimmy.
Jimmys don't get chest tattoos because they're smart.
Well, one of them's engaged to Naomi. I believe.
Naomi Knight.
Naomi. From the Funkadactyls. So you got to see all these moving interactions. You got to see Natalia, who...
is with Tyson Kidd, married.
Yes, and they teased that
T.J. Wilson.
for later on.
It's his real name. And it was kind of cool to see, like, into their private lives. John Cena, he took... Is he with Brie or... He is with Nikki.
He took Nikki fishing. And John Cena was trying to be like all sexy, and he was showing like his pelvic bone to her and stuff. And I'm like, this is kind of weird, and then they reenacted the scene from The Notebook where they're running in the rain and they kiss each other. And
what?
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's what Nikki wanted to do. She thought the rain was like the movie, and she loved the movie, so she wanted to jump into his arms. Fair enough. But
no one can replace a bearded Ryan Gosling.
No
one
true.
can. Not even John Cena.
It's like his abs are painted on.
Oh, have you seen Crazy Stupid Love?
Yeah, that's where I got
that movie.
The line.
Oh, that's right.
But Nikki was kind of jealous of Brie.
He says it's like it's photoshopped.
Oh yeah, Photoshopped. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Emma Stone. Yeah,
she's a nice looking lady.
Anyways, so Nikki was jealous of Brie because Brie is engaged, and John...
Whoa. Brie and Daniel Bryan are engaged?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, they've been together for like 2-3 years.
Nikki shouldn't be jealous. She has fake breasts.
True.
Yeah.
And no one else can get those.
Well, no, I mean, Nikki doesn't have them.
No, but she could.
You can look... Sorry.
So anyways, so she's jealous.
God, we're almost a half hour in, and we haven't even touched on Raw. We're just being blah, blah, blah.
Okay, for like the 9th time, Brie is jealous. Or no, Nikki's jealous.
Yes.
Because John had gotten out of his relationship. He's been divorced.
Yeah, barely a year.
I know. But he's divorced, and he doesn't want to talk about marriage at all. Like he's gone down that road. He doesn't lead well. He's on the road all the time.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if it would work, so she's kind of upset. She's totally in love with him.
Have they said how long they've been together? Did they mention that?
I don't know how long.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't mention it.
And did they mention at what point this was recorded?
It was leading up to WrestleMania, like the week before WrestleMania.
Gotcha.
Although, this was kind of weird because they showed how the Bellas and the Funkadactyls were selected for the match at WrestleMania. And then they showed afterwards when they found out that they weren't going to be on the show. But they didn't record the actual moment where they were told. So, and I was at WrestleMania and I could see backstage, and I remember the Bellas and who were they with? Brodus Clay and Sweet Tea.
Yeah, who were the men on the Bellas team?
Road Scholars.
Yes.
And I remembered seeing them in a huddle, all completely dressed for WrestleMania.
All 8 of them?
No, all 4. The Bellas and the
Scholars.
No, it must have been the Scholars. They were huddled around each other, completely dressed, and it looked like they were getting pumped up or cheering, praying or something before their match, and then they were cut. And I'm like, oh man. And I told someone about that, and I can't remember if it was you or not, and they're like, oh, they were probably just filming it for...
You did tell me that.
Yeah, for Total Divas, and they didn't show that. So it makes me feel like it was actually legit. Like it wasn't staged, it wasn't set up. But it made for a perfect at first, episode arc that this happened. The Funkadactyls, which one is the younger one on the Funkadactyls? Naomi?
Cameron is the skinnier one. Naomi's the tremendous wrestler.
Okay.
With that butt clothesline that she does.
So Cameron, who's like 19 or 20.
Really? I didn't know that.
She's really young. She was on Tough Enough.
Okay.
Yeah, and she said her favorite one was like Melina versus Alicia Fox, their greatest match of all time. Anyways,
Jesus.
So Cameron was backstage, and Brodus Clay had said that she sucked during when they were doing their run through for WrestleMania. And she was like crying, and her boyfriend was backstage, and he's like, "Where is this guy? I'm gonna beat him up." I'm like, "Bro, you're gonna beat up Brodus Clay."
Apparently, this guy doesn't watch wrestling.
No, Brodus Clay used to be Snoop Dogg's bodyguard.
I believe it.
Yeah, but I
think his name's George.
Brodus Clay?
Yeah, I think his real name's George. Keep talking. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's going on and on and on about how he's gonna beat up Brodus Clay. But during this,
somebody call him.
I could hear people fandangoing.
Really? So it was the Raw after Mania.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was set up or I don't know what's going on. So that was kind of an interesting pickup. And I don't know, it sounded like they were fandangoing.
Brodus Clay is George Murdoch.
George Murdoch. Wow, that's like a guy from Clue. Like George Murdoch in the pantry with a club.
Yes, he's a big boy. Yeah. Do you know how old he is?
32.
Close. 33.
Oh, nice. So anyways, I mean, it was kind of cool, and Natalya was upset because she didn't get her WrestleMania match, and she works all year, and, she's more talented than all of them combined. And
she is.
Yeah. She thinks... Oh, and they also had, these 2 new rookie girls.
Yeah, Eva Marie, whose story arc was about her hair color. Jesus.
And the little 19-year-old one, I forget her name, but... They didn't have much for her to go on, but I don't know. It's just interesting. It felt like you're watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, though, and I can't imagine that it's good that they have to have all this drama in the show, and it's going to make the Divas division seem childish. But it's also of note that it's the only TV-14
program
rating in the WWE arsenal right now.
Probably because they're showing women in positions where they're wearing less clothing or something like that.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Why else would it have a TV
language?
rating?
Maybe. I mean, they're calling the Bellas are like, "Stay out of my way, bitch," stuff like that.
That might be it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just e-programming in general. Maybe it's the commercials being played on.
Maybe.
During the show. I don't know. Whatever.
But you're gonna have to watch and text me and say what you thought of it.
I'll let you know. I'll see it tomorrow.
All right. So we should get into Raw now that we're half over with the show. Vince McMahon and Brad Maddox kick it off. Daniel Bryan interrupts and says that Maddox was a puppet for McMahon when he was called undersized and a troll, basically saying that that was what McMahon believes.
Yeah.
Bryan says he hasn't been given any respect by McMahon, even after busting his ass for him day in and day out, year after year. McMahon basically says that Cena chose Bryan because he can't beat Cena, because he doesn't have ruthless aggression. Bryan says that doesn't matter what he thinks, it matters what the WWE Universe wants, and they want a new champion at SummerSlam.
And McMahon went on to say that that's what got Cena to the top was ruthless aggression, which, of course, if you remember, when he made his debut against Kurt Angle, he said, ruthless aggression.
Yeah.
And then Vince said, John Cena doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah, it was a really weird promo from McMahon.
He kind of... It kind of felt half-hearted, and Vince then went on to say that he didn't want either guy to win. He didn't want Cena to win. Later on in the show, he had said, I just don't want Cena to win. I want anybody but Cena, but I don't think Bryan's the guy.
Yeah, it was weird. He said his greatest idea or thought of what could happen at SummerSlam is that they spontaneously combust together and Cena and Daniel Bryan wisp off into the air, never to be seen again. We know that's bullshit from McMahon, because McMahon, that's his money, right there.
Cena's his guy.
Cena. Yeah. Just print some money.
I wonder, and I read something on Pro Wrestling Torch today where somebody was kind of wondering aloud, is this the PG version of Austin McMahon? We're going to Brian McMahon be the PG one. And I don't know, but they had kind of a tease toward that when Stephanie later in the show said that Bryan needs a corporate makeover, and Triple H says, well, it's worth a shot, and McMahon goes, good luck with that, kind of hinting that, well, we've done this before, we've tried this before, which
is kind of cool. I like the meta stuff like that. I love when they're self-referential.
It's a nice tip of the cap to, hey, we do remember our past,
which they so often forget,
where they go out of their way sometimes to ignore.
I'm curious where this is going. They said that the McMahon stuff is going to ramp up leading to SummerSlam and culminate at WrestleMania possibly, so we're probably seeing the groundwork right now. I'm curious where it goes. I have no idea where it's going at this point, which is good.
I'm hoping, like I said, that it ends up with either a Triple H heel turn or some kind of McMahon double cross,
Who
elsewhere.
Who could be the corporate champion for Vince? Randy Orton.
Randy Orton would be the guy because of his past with Triple H and Stephanie. He has the Money in the Bank briefcase, so it would be easy to elevate him to that title right away without trying to have other guys go through hoops. Yeah. If they were to somehow make Bryan Vince's guy because he's being put in a position where he's not, where like when they tried to do that to The Rock, where they said, Rock, you have no chance in hell to win, and he ended up winning the title for the first time, turning his back on the people and becoming the corporate champion. I don't see that happening with Bryan, so if I had to pick a guy, I think Orton is that guy. Or is John Cena that guy?
Ooh, no. but it would be awesome.
A man can wish.
A man can wish.
And we've touched on this before, where it wouldn't work with Cena because as soon as you turned him heel, he'd be a bigger babyface than he is now.
The 50% of the crowd that was booing him is now cheering him. I don't know. It'd be really interesting. I would love to see it, but I'm curious. Like I said, our first match of the night was a Shield taking on Mark Henry and the Usos. The Shield win after Ambrose plants I forget which Uso it was. His finisher. Did they have a name for it yet?
It was the Ambrose Plex.
Yeah, that's correct.
No, I don't think they said a name for it. I liked the way this ended up, though.
The Shield Plex.
That the Shield win. Henry does not get pinned. And Ambrose gets the pin. So you have the tag team contender getting pinned against a non-tag team member. And Henry still looks ferocious. Henry kicks some ass after the match.
Could we see an Ambrose versus Henry match?
I said that last week, and you kind of poo-pooed it.
That's right, I did.
But I even stopped myself and said, it wouldn't make sense to give Henry a U.S. title match after like a month after he fought for the WWE Championship. To me, that doesn't make sense. I think Ambrose is going to carry that belt for a while.
Could it be a non-title match?
It could be, and if they fight, it will be probably a non-title.
Even at the pay-per-view?
There would have to be some kind of stipulation. I said I could see them doing a 3-on-3 match with the tag titles involved, or with all of the titles involved somehow. But I see Ambrose holding that title for a while, just to be like, hey, I have a championship, and not really defending it like when Cesaro had it.
Yeah.
Cesaro lost a handful of matches.
He lost every match that wasn't a title match, which is like the MO of WWE, and it happened last night as well in the Divas match. But after the match, Henry took out the Shield, looking strong. He took on all three and beat him up pretty good. Our next match was RVD taking on Fandango.
Have you noticed?
Kind of
Yeah, it was. I give it meh because I expected much more from it.
Yeah.
These Fandango count-out losses, I don't buy it.
No.
I don't. You're wasting good time unless you're going to have this culminate in some match at SummerSlam. But Fandango, RVD, I don't care about that at SummerSlam because there's nothing on the line. If Fandango had a championship, I'd buy his count-out losses. But he has no reason to leave. None.
He really doesn't. It's just like, I'm tired now. I'm going home. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, I would always play baseball with my neighbor, and he would want to hit first, and because it was his house and it was his rules. Fine, that's fair. His ground rules, but
the home team always goes last.
Not at his park.
What a dick! Who was this guy? Say his name.
Bobby Wortman.
Bobby Orton, who, by the way, used to look like Randy Orton back in the day.
Yeah,
he used to resemble Randy Orton. Bobby, come on, you're better than that, dude.
Anyways, so I play at his house, and then so I'd be pitching. Finally, it'd be my turn to bat. He's like, "Oh no, we're done." I remember I said the F word for the first time.
Really?
After he pulled something like that.
You remember the first time you said the F word?
You'll hear why.
Okay. Beautiful Bobby Wortman.
Oh, yeah. So he wouldn't let me bat. And he's like, my house, my rules. So I'm like, F you, Bobby. And I walked home. He told his mom. His mom called my mom. And I got liquid dial in my mouth.
Oh, my. People actually put soap in their kids' mouth?
Oh, yeah.
And liquid.
It was bad.
Poison. Neil and... Hold on. It's not Barbara. Neil and... What's your mom's name?
Barbara Bush. It's Pat.
Neil and Pat Bush, you did not even give your son bar soap?
No. Liquid dial.
Jeez.
I was like 10.
Oh my god.
Got my butt.
So would you like gargle it?
No, I spit it out. But yeah, it was a rough day for little Matt.
Bobby Wortman, you dick. Telling your parents.
I told the story on another podcast.
I watched a WCW pay-per-view at the Wortmans.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was the one where Goldberg beat Sid. Was it Sid? Or Sting? I think it was Goldberg versus Sid. And it was funny because every match we had to predict what the result would be and how. Pinfall, submission, whatever. And before the match started, I said Goldberg by a knockout. And everybody's like, oh, funny. Because you could do that in the WCW NWO Revenge game. Yeah. He beat, I think it was Sid or maybe Scott Steiner. Whoever the hell he beat, he won technically by a knockout because the guy was like unstoppably bloody. Like they could not stop the guy from bleeding. And they called the match. And it was technically a knockout victory for Goldberg. Crazy. So I won because I said Goldberg by knockout.
Very nice.
Yeah.
One good thing about Bobby, I shouldn't throw him on a bus like that.
Yeah, Bobby is a good dude.
Bobby's a great dude. We used to wrestle all the time in my basement, and we would go through be like, oh, Matt, Sting now.
Show me on the water bottle where he touched you. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. But no, we would go through everyone. Razor's Edge, Tatanka, like back in the day. This was like early 90s.
Did he ever give you the Wortmanplex?
The Wortmanplex, multiple times.
Or the Bobby Buster? That would be my finishing move if I was Bobby Wortman.
Oh, it was great.
The Bobby Buster.
We would do that and play X-Men a lot. Those were our two things that we love.
That's fun.
Bobby's a good dude. We had great times wrestling in the basement.
Yeah, Bobby. I love Bobby and his whole extended family. They're awesome.
Oh, yeah. AJ took on Caitlyn. AJ dominated most of the match, looked really good. Of course, a spear out of nowhere cost her the match. Of course, it's Caitlyn's first win over AJ in ages in a non-title match, of course.
Caitlyn looked pretty good in that match, except she telegraphed that spear. Like, AJ is coming in the ring and, like, Caitlyn's hunched over, waiting for him. Like, oh. They kind of ruined it on the replay.
Yeah, usually they're really good with this, with these two, and the spear. It's been really good, but yeah, this was not their best execution. AJ had a temper tantrum following the match, and then was interrupted by Dolph Ziggler, who kind of rubbed it in. Congratulates her on her big loss, and Dolph wants a match with Big E Langston right now.
I tell you what, I told you already, I read the spoilers for this. This was one reason why I wish I hadn't read the spoilers. I wanted Ziggler Langston for SummerSlam. We still probably will get it.
More than likely.
So I was really, really pumped that we were going to get this match on free TV. And after seeing the result, we probably will get it at SummerSlam.
Yeah. After you told me what the match on SmackDown is going to be, I can't believe that the former World Heavyweight Champ isn't in the number one contenders match. Make it a 4-way. You have him lose. I don't care. But why is he not in that match?
It's weird how they've completely written Ziggler off of that feud where there's no explanation.
No.
Why? No, I guess their explanation is the AJ breakup. He's focusing on that kind of. He's almost taking. He's almost being. He's having. Can't even talk. He's having being the thorn in AJ's side be the priority.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on the World Heavyweight title. And I guess that's their explanation. But to me, when you've got, Del Rio, who's looking for a champ. By the way, Matt has not read the spoilers. He does not know what happens on SmackDown this week. And to me, it is a little weird that he wouldn't be in that match. It could be a fatal 4-way. You could have him in that match and give somebody a reason to... Teddy Long to say, whoa, hold up, playa.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a 4X suit, even though I'm a small man.
I'm wearing my dad's suit.
Like I said, he looks like the kid at the end of Big.
Yeah.
He could say, so-and-so, Ziggler, you've had your chances. It's time to give somebody else a chance, but we're going to keep you in it. We'll make it a triple threat match. Then have the three, Orton, Christian, and RVD fight for that spot. But I guess they want to kind of get this AJ thing out of the way and the Big E feud. And again, if you don't do this, where does Big E go? Really, I don't know where he goes.
That's true, but you can still have the feud going on and have Ziggler in that match. Even if he loses, it's not the end of the world. You can still keep him strong. We showed that with Mark Henry.
Well, to me, what they're doing here is that they're allowing, not to spoil it for you, but they're allowing the three guys in that match a chance at... you have so many moving parts right now. You have RVD returning. You have Christian, who's been on a nice win streak. You have Orton, who has that Money in the Bank contract, not championship. And if he can get the number one contendership... And, I've been screaming for them to unify those titles.
Yeah.
And if he could somehow unify those belts, that's a great story right there. This keeps Ziggler busy. He's someone who's, maybe it's not in the eyes of everybody, but it's in the eyes of us. And it realistically is so that he is at that championship level where he could get a title match anytime. He doesn't need to win a match. He doesn't need to win a briefcase. So he could be there anytime. To me, he's a huge player for the Royal Rumble. I think he's potentially a winner.
Possibly. People thought that last year until certain things happened. So Big E took on Dolph for the very first time. just been leading to it for a long time. It was an okay match. It ended in disqualification after AJ attacked Dolph mid-match, just shrieking her head off.
And of course, to touch on earlier at Raw, there was a promo, not a promo, but a backstage segment with AJ and Langston, and she pretty much taunted him and teased him. And then here she ruins that match, and Langston takes exception, yells at her. Although this match creeped me out because Langston kept saying, "It's my time. It's my time. Your time's over. It's my spot." Like, he kept saying it over and over, which would be fine for a 5-minute match. But it was like a 12-minute match?
Was it that long?
Yeah, because I think they had a commercial break, too.
Wow, I don't
And he
recall.
kept saying it. It's just like, dude, Langston knows how to talk. He should have said some other stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But he was upset that she had cost him the match, and then Dolph hits the zigzag on Big E to end the segment.
Mm-hmm. Which, oh god, if you watch the replay again, he smacks his head so hard. Langston just, boom, smacks his head so hard on the canvas. I can't stand seeing that stuff. Makes my eyes rattle.
Do these things?
Yeah.
Our next match was Christian versus Alberto Del Rio. It was a solid match. I liked it. Christian actually won.
Yeah.
It surprised me.
It seems like Del Rio's been on an up and down roller coaster where he's losing more matches than the champion should.
Yeah. But I didn't mind it because it was a good match.
It was a great counter, too.
Yeah, Christian rolling through the cross arm breaker attempt.
Right before that, he tried to hit the kill switch. He sells the arm or elbow injury, so he's not able to get it in. Del Rio locks the arm up, and then Christian quickly rolls through and pins him. It's funny, though, because referee Mike Chioda is in the middle of the 3 count, and Christian kind of rolls or slides into him, so he has to lay on top of Christian while he's counting 3. And it looked a little weird, but they got the job done.
And I noticed that that was a common theme of Raw last night, where someone's going for the finisher and it's reversed immediately into something else, and it costs them the match. Christian and ADR happened like that, and then pretty much every single match after that for the rest of Raw ended that way. But Christian wins after reversing him into a small package. It was really cool. Rhodes took on Wade Barrett next. Another solid match. Rhodes wins after reversing the Wasteland into a Crossroads, which was cool. But I mean, we just seen it again. Sando comes out while Rhodes is celebrating, I suppose, and he's mad that Rhodes threw his briefcase into the Gulf of Mexico, and apparently that happened on SmackDown.
Yes, that did, and that was great. They showed the replay, and Sandow's commentary throughout while he's looking for Rhodes, and he's stopping people asking where if they've seen Rhodes. He had a comment for everybody he ran into, and he's so good at being an ass. I love him.
He's hilarious, and he stays in character, which is great. He's he's good.
Although his fashion could use a help. His shirts are too baggy, and it's just a lot of those guys. Like Cody Rhodes does a good job of looking sharp in a suit. Some of those other guys do too. Jericho always looks good. Miz looks good. Sandow wears he's wearing that suit where it's like I'm not comfortable wearing suits. I normally don't wear suits, but I have to go to this wedding, so I just grabbed something, or I'm at a job interview and I'm just gonna throw this on. His clothes are too baggy. His suits, his bloused out shirts, I don't like them.
They should hire you as a fashion consultant.
I think they should.
On the dubs.
Sound like you said cunt. You got to be careful there.
Consultant. Okay, our next match was Daniel Bryan taking on Kane, and this was another long-awaited match. Good match, solid. Bryan, for the finish, Daniel Bryan reverses a choke slam into a small package for the win. Third straight match.
And of course, he gets up and walks right into a choke slam.
Another choke slam, because it's always easier to hit your finisher, I've noticed, after you've lost a match.
Yeah, because I mean, it's the winner is just so tired from that victory or celebrating,
kicking your ass for.
Also, you get more tired in a tag team match, and weapon shots or regular moves hurt more after a match or in a non-match situation.
Very, very true. Kane was upset after the match and drops Bryan with the choke slam. The Wyatts arrive. and it's always exciting when they come down. We're here. Mm-hmm. And the crowd was pretty excited for it.
The taped Raw segment worked perfect for this too. That they could go to that promo where the lights go out and they go right to the video, not the Tron, but the video, so you don't hear any crowd noise.
Yeah.
It's quiet and it's, excuse me, that was a hiccup. It's dark, and then they can cut their little promo and then boom, we're here, and then bring the crowd in. Yeah, it's cool. And if you saw, like I mentioned this previously, where when they're coming to the ring, Eric Rowan, sheep mask guy, at the last second,
grabs the chair,
falls out of the light, grabs the chair, sets up,
taps him.
and then taps Wyatt.
I did notice that.
Yep.
So that's good, because that was one of the big mysteries.
Yeah,
like,
so
where did the chair come from?
But their theme music is perfect.
Oh, I love it. I want that as my ringtone.
Yeah, it's a sweet theme. I'd love that as a ringtone, or just even a song.
So they arrive in good fashion again, and they beat down Kane once again. And this was awesome. I love the promo that Bray cut, and he says that Kane says that he's the devil's favorite demon, but he should be careful when you say things because you don't know who might be listening.
And he says you're no demon.
Yeah.
I also wondered, with this being taped, if the crowd was chanting Husky Harris, because as a taped show, this allowed WWE to put in whatever sound they wanted and take whatever sound out.
The last time they were on, I didn't hear any chants.
So. Well, that was a great crowd that they were in front of, though. That was they were in Austin last week.
So I'm hoping that they weren't, but if they did, they cut it out really well, because I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I didn't hear it at all.
Our next match was Natalya taking on Brie Bella, and it was an okay match, to start, but then Nikki comes out and has a duck call, and like, quack, quack, Natty, quack, quack. I forget why were they...
Because she referred to Natalya as the ugly duckling.
Oh, right.
In that backstage promo, talking about Total Divas. Like, yeah, even you had even you got attention or whatever for being an ugly duckling, or you got a lot of attention for an ugly duckling or something like that. That was the whole thing. I'm tired of these, and I know that they spread themselves thin or run out of angles with these women's matches, but especially when you're trying to cater to kids, calling a woman ugly, or they do these fat gimmicks where it's like
Natalya's a beautiful woman.
All of these women are in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if I had to pick, like, one, it's funny, I almost like diva hop when it comes to, like, it depends on the year or the month even, where I'm like, oh, she's the most beautiful diva. But seriously, I think overall, I think Natalya is probably the most beautiful. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's fit, and this is not me sounding pervy. She's gorgeous. She's fit, and she's the best wrestler.
And
she's the best female wrestler.
She's a genuine, like, good person too. You know, like, I love her as a person.
It was just like when Lay Cool made fun of Mickie James and they called her Piggy James. It's like that's not the message you're going to want to send kids, because it doesn't matter if this comes to a resolution and she overcomes it and wins, because people don't remember that, because those kids, those same kids, aren't getting the pay-per-views. They're only seeing Raw, or they're only seeing SmackDown.
I really think that they could put a little more effort into a storyline. Like,
that's the other thing, is these women are in their 30s, and while I imagine, look, they wouldn't be the first women to run their mouth about another woman and sound like a little kid or be childish about it, or like a high school student, but it's not realistic for them to be like, oh, cool. I don't know. And also, come on, Natalya's not going to lose by getting distracted from a duck collar and then getting kicked, then getting kicked in her rock hard abs.
I know.
And all of a sudden, like, losing on a roll up. That's just stupid.
I found that if someone's making a distraction, your tolerance for pain drops to zero.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the golden gun in GoldenEye.
I'm glad they're keeping AJ and Caitlyn separate from this whole Divas thing, because I can't stomach this Bella push, which you're going to see with this Diva show. You're going to have these Bellas winning matches. And anytime, I can't see them ever winning a match where I'm like, oh yeah, they should have won that. Because, I mean, That's like when
they have
Kelly
like twin magic. Like it's like the Miz. You never expect him to win a match.
It's like when Kelly won all those matches and was the champion.
And she just
kidding me.
Kelly. Oh, okay. I cannot stand Kelly. She's a beautiful woman, of course, but when she's screeching the whole match, it's like Monica Seles, on the tennis court. Like, just shut up, like like a stink face from Kelly's gonna knock someone out. Give me a break. I hated her run. I thought it was terrible. Just the worst the Divas ever been. Right there.
Yeah, well, and they all got like 2-minute matches. Yeah. And that was when like Beth Phoenix was jobbing to her. And,
yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Beth Phoenix, she should still be there and she should be the champion and just be putting people down. Divas of Doom, her and Natalya, they were sweet.
Natalya has the talent to be that good too. I mean, AJ has really stepped it up. She's made it believable that she can win matches, especially with that Black Widow move.
Yeah. And she just...
Caitlyn's great,
And every week, AJ looks phenomenal, more and more. I mean, which is not to be confused with the phenomenal AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, or whatever the hell he's called. AJ, April Mendez, if you're listening, way to go. You look phenomenal. Great shape.
She's totally improved in the ring.
Your hard work is noticed.
Yeah.
And it's paying off.
Yeah, well, I mean, she knows she's top diva. She's higher than most men right now. She's really awesome. Popular. Our next match, R-Truth came out, so I knew he was going to lose and took on Kurt Axel.
Now, did he used to wear a bandana or something around his forehead is huge all of a sudden. I don't know if it's because he cut some of his hair.
Maybe it was Barry Bonds peds.
I think he was wearing like a bandana around his head. I think maybe they're like, whoa, we have Unico doing that now. Which, by the way, where's he?
I don't know. Superstars.
But now, like if you look at Truth's forehead, it's like cut from it's scarred from blading. What I'm assuming is blading, and it's I don't know. But I think he also got his hair cut short in the front, so it's. It's kind of pushed back.
I don't know. I didn't look at his forehead that much. Honestly,
like, what's up with your hair?
Yeah,
what's up?
I skipped a little bit of the match, if I'm going to be honest, because I knew who was going to win. But
how about this? You're not the only one.
Well, Axel dominated, of course, until CM Punk interferes.
Yep.
Took out the IC champ. Punk then chases Paul Heyman, but is stopped by Curtis Axel. Heyman then runs away as Punk stands on the announcer's table, claiming victory.
I love CM Punk, but speaking of hair, he's got to do something. I liked when he had the long hair. I liked when he had the shaved head. I didn't really like the slicked back H2O.
Yeah.
H2O rock band, that is, look. But right now it's a combination of bedhead / I haven't washed my hair in 5 days / I don't really know how to style it. He's got to change it up.
Well, that's his face hair.
He should grow it long again. I'd like to see him grow it long again, like SES.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe he should just grow a beard like Danny Bryan.
That'd be sweet.
The Bearded Brothers.
And speaking of that corporate makeover, I would like to see Bryan go back to short hair and no facial hair, just for a little bit. Or
I liked him when he had like a little beard.
Yeah. I like the big beard more than the little beard, but I just miss the clean shaven look.
I like the early stages beard.
Okay.
Like when he first started.
You are a goatee guy now. Yeah. When was the last time you were clean shaven?
Like a year ago. Every once in a while, I'll just I'll mess up shaving and I'll just shave it all off.
Okay.
But then it grows back in 2 days, so no one really cares. But
I used to have once I was able to grow sideburns, which was I think my sophomore year of high school. Mm-hmm. So this would have been 1996, 97. Once I was able to grow them, I kept them until maybe my sophomore year of college, and then I've shaved them consistently since. But I used to have just not the mustache part of the goatee. I used to just have or I guess technically, this would be a little beard. It's not a goatee unless it's connected. I only had the chin beard for a little while. Then I realized I don't play baseball, so I graduated to a full beard and then clean shaven and just alternated.
Yeah.
But usually I have that few days of growth like you see right now.
Mm-hmm. I used to have the kind of the chin strap going on with the goatee. Mm-hmm. And it was just too hard to manage.
Yeah.
But then I went back to the goatee just because it's so easy, and I only have to trim this part once a week and shave twice a week or something.
Have you ever thought about going Anvil Neidhart on it, or not quite that long.
Oh, I used to have... Alex wanted me to...
Alex Owen,
yeah.
Listeners like, what, Alex? My friend Alex?
Yeah. He wanted me to get the the Hulk Hogan, kind of like the handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
And I did it for Novembeard, and I took a few photos, and I'm like, this is just too manly for my face. And I shaved it off immediately.
What I ended up doing is either for this was like pre Novembeard and pre Movember, like before it was like all the rage, before social media.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, like when I was in college, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to grow a mustache, or somebody'd be like, shave your beard into a mustache, and I'd shave it into a mustache, and I'd forget about it, and then like later that day I'd go to Target or whatever, and every single time this happened, I'd run into somebody that I hadn't seen in years, and I'd forget that I had a mustache until like I got home, and I could just see them saying like, "Oh man, I saw Jimmy Bellamy's looking rough. He has a mustache. What happened to him?
He's rocking a mustache.
What luck?
I love how he's like, man, what happened to Bellamy? He's got a mustache now.
Just bad.
You must be doing drugs.
Not good."
So this brings us to our main event. John Cena versus Ryback, and I showed you my distaste for this main event last week.
Yeah.
It was actually a good match.
They could have used more tables on the outside of the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like, they must have, like, taken... I can't imagine how long the crowd had to sit while they set up for that fucking match.
Yeah, I guess it was edited. I don't know. Yeah.
Brutal.
I'm sure they're always quick about it, though.
This match sucked. Predictable ending. Kind of like, okay, you're going to tell me how sweet it was.
You didn't like the match?
Not that I didn't like it. It just, to me, when I know what's going to happen at the end, I'm just... it doesn't matter what happens between point A and point B.
Yeah.
So, okay, not terrible.
No.
But
I give it a solid B.
And actually, you know what? I'm gonna revise my answer. They gave it to us on TV, which was cool.
Yeah.
It could have been a pay-per-view match.
Oh, easy.
So,
yeah. I mean,
I
think we have had this kind of match on pay-per-view, actually. I thought it was cool. I liked the stare downs. I liked the stuff with the what are the fuck? The steps.
Steps, yes.
I'm like, chairs. It's with the steel steps, and they both had it, and they're like jousting with it. That was kind of cool. And I mean, of course, Ryback was controlling near the end, and I knew Cena would reverse like he did. Another reversal at the end.
The AA. Oh, and this is part of it, because the AA, that's like all Michael Cole ever says. I've noticed in recent viewings, and now it's been, thinking back in hindsight, it's been for months, almost since they took this social media surge with Twitter and Tout. You don't hear about Tout very much anymore, but I noticed that Michael Cole doesn't talk about the moves very much. He won't say like
a long time.
Belly to back suplex. No. And I mean, I thought, well, is that an exclusively JR thing to do? But really, no. Michael Cole used to say what moves were being said. And I mean, during the Henry Shield match, he'd say, "Oh, the bear hug." I mean, they did mention the bear hug, but it's quite often where they don't mention the moves. They just say, "Oh, the power," and "Oh, a slam," and "Oh, the impact." They don't...
Vintage Orton.
Yeah, they don't really mention the moves, which to me hurts, because growing up as a wrestling fan, you would know atomic drop.
Oh, yeah.
Abdominal stretch, suplex, figure four.
Armbar.
Yeah, armbar. Armbar.
The what was it? Flying family redunzel.
Credenza, the man's family credenza.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that the kids now growing up, they're not going to know what some of these moves are, which is unfortunate. Kind of sad.
We'll be the men of 1004 holds.
I hope so.
They'll be the children of the.
That
AA.
might be my next shirt. Is Turnbuckle T sells when it says "Move 1004 armbar."
Nice.
I might get that.
That'd be sweet. So after the match, after Cena won, Daniel Bryan comes out, grabs the belt, Cena's belt, and enters the ring. He hands Cena the belt, but then pulls it back.
He goes, "Psych!"
Yeah, and like, yeah. And says that it's going to be his soon. Cena snatches the belt back and says, "You'll have to go through me," basically. And that's how Raw went off the air.
We have 3 weeks till SummerSlam. What's going to happen? What's going to happen with these two leading into SummerSlam.
I think you got to have Daniel Bryan win, whether or not nice. Yeah, we're looking at that shirt. Hold number 1004. Armbar. I love Chris Jericho. Anyways, I think Daniel Bryan has to win this match. I don't think he has to leave with the belt, but I think he needs to win this match. Or, I don't know if he has to leave with the belt, but he has to win the match. Basically,
I agree with you. To me, they're just making it so obvious that I don't think he will win the belt. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But to me, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
If you leave him not winning the title at SummerSlam, you almost have to put it on him that next night.
Yeah.
And I think every pay-per-view I go into it saying, well, if this guy doesn't win, he could win it the next night on Raw. And really, they haven't done that in like
ages.
13 years.
Yeah.
But they could and should.
What if Orton cashes in? What if Orton wins? I mean, see, I don't even know if this is possible. But Orton wins the number one contendership, wins against Alberto Del Rio, cashes in against Daniel Bryan that night.
They could, and I mean it's SummerSlam, so I guess you could justify that being a big enough event. Triple H even said, "Oh, it's our second biggest show of the year," so they could do that. I think that with Cena and with Bryan and with Orton, Del Rio to an extent, but I could see them taking the title off Del Rio and then, he could, disappear into the upper mid card for a little while. I just think they have too many guys to focus on that they wouldn't put all of their attention on one guy with both belts. I would love to see it. I just don't see them bypassing. Although, now that I say that foreshadowing by Vince that he wants anybody but Cena to win, but that he doesn't want Bryan to win.
Yeah,
because he doesn't think Bryan's the guy. It could be Orton. I mean, if you think about it, when Punk beat Cena and was going to leave WWE, he said, Vince came and said, "Get Alberto out here, get Alberto out here, get a referee," whatever he said. He could do the same for Orton. He could say, "Randy, you're going to do this." And they had a similar thing where, was that an 2009 when Orton started the night as champion or won the belt and then lost it later in the night to Triple H and then closed out the show by winning the belt against Triple H, and it was because Vince helped him.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was back in 2009. I think it was.
I mean, there's so many moving pieces that a lot of different things could happen. I really think Daniel Bryan will beat John Cena, but I don't know if he leaves with the belt, basically. And I don't know if that's because of a disqualification, if Randy Orton cashes in. I don't know. I just don't think he wins the belt.
What I want to see is, I want to see Bryan win the title, Orton cash in and win it, and then we have either a triple threat rematch on Raw the next night, or we have Bryan Orton for the belt the next night with a convalescing John Cena at home.
Well, I could have found out the results of SummerSlam a few weeks ago when Sharks, Dolphins, yeah.
He posted it already?
Weeks ago. I did not click it, and that's another news bit. They caught the leak.
Who is it?
They didn't say who it was.
Is it the guy posting?
No.
He's not an employee?
I don't think it's the guy posting.
Okay.
But yeah,
How did they catch him? Did they put out full results, do you think?
I don't know.
I bet that's what they did.
That's like a Tyrion Lannister kind of move.
But that's the only way to catch them.
Yeah.
And didn't you say Kim Kardashian did the same thing with baby pictures? You only said that?
Yeah. Possibly, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's it. So that's our show for tonight.
Oh, you guys are just
the best.
I'm having so much fun doing this, and I'm not going to get too sappy like we did the last couple weeks, but this was fun.
Earlier in the show,
this was really fun. I hope you guys had as much fun. This was a lot of fun.
This is a fun.
I mean, because it's right now. It is 11:20 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and I'm wide awake. And I can wide awake.
But yeah, so that's our show for this week. Look for us on Wrestle News possibly next week, hopefully. Knock on wood.
Yes, and we'll give you all the dirt on that. You can follow us at Immortals PCast on Twitter. We'll keep you up to date on that, and we'll also have it on our WordPress blog. We'll have it on Facebook. We'll have it on our YouTube channel. Podbean, iTunes. But no, any updates between now and next week's podcast, YouTube. Twitter is probably your best avenue for the quickest and most up-to-date information. That, again, is at Immortals PCast. Give us a follow. I think
at 97Bush.
97Bush.
Jimmy Bellamy.
Or at Jimmy Bellamy. I think right now we have like 38 followers on Immortals PCast, and we would love you to follow us and chat with us.
I know all you pervs started following my girlfriend, so you can follow us. Tell your friends.
I'm following her too.
I know. I saw that. All right. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Peace.